In this video we're going to look at what you need in a group first aid kit and for personal use. Take a screenshot of this group first aid kit list now. So in your group first aid kit, first thing you're going to need is some disposable gloves. These are just the normal disposable gloves, but we want to keep these in a sterile pack, but we should always have these to hand ready in case of a first aid emergency. The pack we've got here, we've got the large size because they would fit all, and you can see they're sterile and ready to go. Second thing you're going to need is some medical waste bags. Those are just plastic bags, and if we have any plasters or anything that we've removed or has got blood on it, we put them into that bag. Third thing, we've got some plasters here. It's always worth having a variety of sizes. So variety of sizes and shapes, because each one is designed for a different part of the body, and although we can cut them down, it's better to have one that might match the body size that you're covering. Secondly, some kind of gauzes. So these ones here, these are designed, once we open these are a little pad that you can put on top of a wound before we put any bandaging on the outside. They're designed not to stick to the wound itself. Next thing we need is some ambulance bandage. Well, an ambulance bandage is one of these bandages that's actually got a pad inside it. And these are designed for if you've actually got to control any kind of blood. So this part here is what's going to soak up the blood, and the rest of it gets wrapped around on top, obviously a little bit more tidy to stem that blood. So it's pretty important to make sure one of your bandages has this pad inside. That's this one. A triangular bandage is always very useful. So we're here again, ours is sealed and ready to go, but the triangular bandage literally is one of these thin calico triangular bandages that can be used either for a sling or can be used as padding or to bind on top if we need to put pressure onto something that might be bleeding. A crate roll bandage are these stretchy ones, and the stretchy ones allow us to do things like put pressure onto muscles. So if you've pulled a muscle or you've got an ankle that you've twisted, we put these ones on, and as you put it on you can work out what tension you want to put onto the wound and it will compress slightly. Okay, so one of these stretchy crate bandages into our pack. That's that one there. Tweezers, very useful, especially when we're in the countryside, just in case you're going to end up with a bramble or something that's caught into you, and obviously we know what we'd use those for. Pair of scissors, most useful for cutting tape, maybe adjusting the plasters that we had earlier and adjusting them so we can cut those to fit around any body parts we want. Alcohol-free or alcohol cleansing wipes, these ones here, these are the ones that have got the sterile fluid in them. As we tear them open them up into a little sheet, and they're perfect for cleaning minor injuries before we bandage them or let them air dry. These are the kind of thing you can use plenty of, so have a whole range of those in there. Various different tapes, so zinc oxide tape, that's the very sticky tape. Zinc oxide tape in particular we would use for your feet, so watch our foot care video for how to use that one. Some safety pins, pretty useful if you just want to attach something. They're also actually really good if you want to repair your rucksack. These can be used. Orange survival bag, that's this large bag, big enough for a human to get inside. And if we do have a casualty, or we just need to sit on the ground or deal with an injury, those are perfect for that. Other things on the list, a wound spray. So this one here is just a simple spray. So it's spraying, it's the same stuff that would be in this, but it's in a spray format, which means you don't actually have to wipe over those. The last thing that's worth putting in there is a resusci aid. This is used for mouth to mouth if you have to do it, and it's basically a mask that goes over the mouth of the casualty and protects you whilst you're giving mouth to mouth. As well as the group first aid kit, it's always sensible to carry a personal first aid kit of your own. Take a photo of this list now. So in my personal first aid pouch, I'm going to take just the things that I would need on a day-to-day basis and might need to be able to look after myself and treat any minor things. The first thing that we're going to do is take some more plasters. So we don't want to be going into the main first aid kit if I need one, and therefore again I'm just carrying one or two of the various different sizes that are available in my first aid pouch. Secondly, because I said earlier we were going to take quite a few of these, or might use a few, I've got a few of those. So if I just hurt myself as we're going along, scratch myself on something, I can clean the cut and put a small dressing on it without bothering the main group and the first aid kit. Going to take some blister plasters, or Compeeds if we're using the brand. So these, if you're planning on using them, I highly recommend that you look at our foot care video before you start applying them. Again, I'm carrying two, one for each foot. If you take personal medication, then you ought to bring these with you, especially if you take something like an EpiPen. If you take an EpiPen or an auto-injector of this nature, you should have two with you on the expedition, one being carried by yourself and one by someone else. Make sure your group are aware of where these are. Again, any personal medication I take in my everyday life, and if you know that you get allergic reactions, something like Piriton, you should be bringing with you. Don't go and get some if you don't normally take it, and you need to tell your instructor or a teacher if you're taking medication whilst on expedition. Again, just for personal foot care reasons, and after watching the video you'll realise why I've got some tape in my kit. I've also got some sun cream. These little pouches are pretty good rather than carrying a large container. It means I can rip them open and use them. I'd need 2 of these per day because we have to reapply it. And lastly, I need some kind of toilet kit. So in here, all I've got is a normal plastic bag, inside which I've got some waste bags. Again, an obvious colour. I can see that those would be waste to go in a bin. And a small roll of toilet roll that I've acquired.